And good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson with a quick update on weather. We've had a few severe thunderstorms roam their way through the region. You've had some awesome photos uploaded. Your forecast for today does include a chance of all modes of severe weather. I'll talk about the risks of all of that coming up now on Hutch's Weather.
Now, a Hutch's Weather Update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
And a note from my fine sponsors at Robert Gibb and Sons. They have one special going that you will not want to miss because the heating season is right around the corner. Get your furnace cleaned and checked by a quality staff and get the best service by calling Robert Gibb and Sons. Let them know Hutch sent you. Let's get right down to the details on our weather. We have a lot to talk about, and that radar shows what's going on. First, we'll do this right now, and then what we're going to do is take a look at your photos of the storms that move through. We have an active severe thunderstorm warning that is just closing out. That system is impacting you folks in parts of, the western half of Marshall County, Minnesota. So as we zoom in, it's moving into southern parts of Roseau and southern parts of Kittson County as well. And that system there is bringing in that risk for some hail. Now, the hail risk is where you see the blue colors here and the pinks. So just off to the east of Carlstead and to the east and south of the Strangquist area and north of Newfold, a couple of areas still containing some hail. So the strongest part of this cell has moved itself out of the warned area, but that doesn't mean the warning is over. Now, they have, the National Weather Service, that is, issued the severe thunderstorm warning. It expires in 2 minutes. It's moving northeast at 40 miles per hour, but now they're replacing it with this, which is not a severe thunderstorm warning, but just an advisory for about nickel-sized hail and 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. This storm did produce some hail, as you see down in the bottom of the screen here. Magnitude 1 inch in diameter, and that was reported 6 miles southeast of you folks in Florian. So hail, the main threat from this particular system, but it does have that ominous backward C shape to it there on the leading edge, pushing into Greenbush, and that could mean some gusty winds, and those gusty winds will be the gustiest and the strongest as you peek into this area right here. As I illustrate that, the winds will be from the southwest moving to northeast, kind of pushing that bow out that you see there. So that bow is pushing this way, and it's caused by the gusty winds that are being caused by the storm. So that's what's going on with this particular cluster of thunderstorm cells right now. Very heavy rain, Netchie, Cavalier area, all the way up towards Walhalla as well. And we do have just one strike of lightning reported in the area, as you can see in the far left-hand corner over here. And now Wales, Langdon, and points north. These cells here are generally drifting up into southern Manitoba as we head into the next 20 minutes or so. So you can see the lightning was associated with the storm now drifting off to the north and decreasing in its aerial coverage. There was a lot more of it earlier. The cells moving in towards Roseau County now, starting to lose just a pinch of its punch. Now, let's talk a little bit about that forecast real quickly so you have an idea. Number one, we do have a risk for some strong to severe thunderstorms as we go into the evening hours. But first, a look at what you've uploaded to hutchesweather.com. A lot of fantastic photos out there from all of the events we discussed late last night on Sunday, if you join me. But first things first, let's talk about these storms, shall we? You brought in a few photos of the storms as they made their way through your area this morning. This is a look from the Stephen area just moments ago. Ruthie capturing this, and that is called a shelf cloud. You see that? Looks like you set your cup of coffee right up on that shelf right there, so you go like this. That's a shelf cloud. Oops, this is a cup of coffee. So as you take a look at the cup of coffee along the shelf there, that's what the leading edge of that shelf cloud is caused by that gust or burp of air that you see forming out and pushing that C shape out there. And it's pretty ominous sight coming your way. Again, the main risks this morning are going to be hail and some winds up to around 1 inch in diameter and up to around 60 miles per hour. Another photo of these storms this morning, as we take a look at this one, also shared by Ruthie. You can see the lumpy, bumpy clouds just kind of lining the sky out there, just pointing out how volatile the atmosphere is, how much churning, you will, that there is, if you will, going on in the atmosphere. And another look, I think, of the shelf cloud. Now, overnight last night, we talked about that risk of some severe weather, but we also talked about the risk and chance of northern lights. And out near Stump Lake, what a beauty. In between the clouds, you see the puffy little cumulus clouds that were starting to spread overhead. caught a brief glimpse of the aurora through the break in the storm clouds as we started the morning. Elizabeth, thank you so very, very much for this magnificent view here. I'll try to get my melon out of the way for you on that gorgeous shot. Now, here's a time lapse. Check this out. Time lapse captured, and this is a great thing. You can upload videos to hutchesweather.com. Allison capturing this in Grand Forks this morning. Look at this. You can see the clouds spinning their way by and working their way through the area. Looks like things stayed fairly dry in the Grand Forks area, but there were some darker and darker clouds and more ominous as the time frame went by. Even a timestamp behind me here showing the time frame of around that 8 o'clock in the morning time frame and just after. Thank you so very much, Allison, for uploading your video there to hutchesweather.com. Oh, it looks like we got a couple more here. This was Jackpot, Nevada. How about that? We got those all the way from Nevada. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. Look at those. Those are some beautiful looking mammatus clouds over the area that out there in the desert southwest. And wow, look at that, Jackpot, Nevada. You can kind of see all of the dry tundra out there. A little bit of moisture likely would be very welcome in that particular case. Okay, I think that does it for our photos. Here's a picture of the field at sunrise. It looks like a gorgeous shot from this morning. This was looking over the hay and cornfield, just a beautiful sight. And that tree there, that lonely tree, kind of breaking up the shot there. Gorgeous colors. Thanks for your uploads. Now let's talk forecast real quickly. Here's what you need to know. We do have a risk of some strong to severe storms later today in the afternoon. Redevelopment. The area is going to be very similar to what we have going on here, and then that means we're going to see all risks of severe weather will be possible. So I'm highlighting here the slight risk area in yellow. Devil's Lake, Grand Forks, Roseau, War Road, and it does include Baudette all the way out toward the Red Lakes area. Red Lake Falls, Thief River Falls, Foston, Crookston, Ada, Fargo-Moorhead, Jamestown. So those are the areas. The Highway 200 corridor all the way out to the capital city of Bismarck will keep you covered. The main risks today are going to be a slight risk of some hail up to around 1 inch in diameter and some 65-mile-per-hour gusts. An isolated tornado is possible. It cannot be ruled out, but it is not the number one threat tonight. So let's go over the timing and track of these systems as they work their way through with a look at a forecast model here. So we'll take you over to the modeled forecast, and what we're going to look at on this forecast is the track of the storms as we go into the afternoon. What you're going to notice on this particular model is that the best chance of strong to severe storms looks to be shifting just a pinch to the north as we head into those afternoon hours. So let me let this load up. Here we go. Okay, so you see the thunderstorms this morning. Those push up into Manitoba as we head into the midday hour. Things look to be a little bit quieter with all of the activity up to the north. But as we go into the heating of the day, notice there's not much thunderstorm or cloud activity here in the Southern Valley. Things will heat up and it will be humid once again. And that will be the fuel for some storms. The wind increases. Those isobars get too friendly out there. We'll have south winds, gusty, and here we go as we go into the evening hours. So this start time for storms will be anywhere near maybe Lake Sakakawea, Bismarck, and on the Highway 200 corridor on up into northeast parts of North Dakota and northwest Minnesota. Same track as the storms this morning is what it looks like, and things stay high and dry here with what we call a cap in the mid-levels of the atmosphere possible here. So if we take a look at this, this is kind of a cool way to look at it, but we send weather balloons up still. Weather balloons float up into the atmosphere, and they measure the temperature and the moisture. Without moisture, we can't make thunderstorms, and without, well, you want that hot air to rise, but it has to rise through cooler air. If the air up top gets too hot, then that rising air, it just don't want to rise anymore. And here's what we're noticing with this little trace here as I take a look. And let me see if I can move this over just a bit. No, you can see the red trace on the left side here is showing our temperature at the ground where I clicked in the Southern Valley here near Fargo. And it shows that temperature not cooling with height. So when it doesn't cool with height, that's not normal. So there is a little bit of a cap in the development of thunderstorms for that particular reason, and the energy in the atmosphere is reduced by that as well. So the risk for severe thunderstorms isn't zero here in Fargo, but you'll notice as I go back to the Storm Prediction Center's outlook, it kind of cuts off at Fargo right here. So see if I can pull that back up for you here. Here it is. the day one risk for severe weather is right here. And as we take a peek at that, you're going to see that Fargo really is the cutoff point for the severe weather. So our Northern Valley neighbors, Highway 200 and points north, Interstate 94 near Jamestown and points north will have the higher likelihood of seeing some of these storms. I did review a few models, and many of the models are concurring that that is indeed the case. So that's what you need to know for today. Let me see if I can field any of your questions regarding our storm chances today, looking at your comments. So let's see. Kathy, anyone know how much rain Grafton has got this morning? Yes, I can answer that right now. Thank you, and I'll get to that. So we'll pull up a look at some rainfall amounts from my friends at the North Dakota Agricultural Weather Network, and then we'll look at the radar again, and we'll do the estimates. And that helps me see what's fallen in between cities and rain gauges. But as I save this here, one moment, it won't take me but 2 shakes of a Pedro's tail here, and we'll get that up for you. Okay, so here we go, and here we go, and here we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is show you this, and this is a look at the North Dakota Agricultural Weather Network and their network of instruments over the last 2 days now. And there was some wet weather out there near Lake Sakakawea, it looks like, in the last 2 days. So let me go over to that, and you can see here the rain gauges in and around the Devil's Lake Basin pointing out where we have the blues. Look at this. Maddock, 1.19 inches, and off there to the north of Maddock, 2.04 or 05 inches rather. So western parts of the Benson County area picking up significant rain. In and around the Devil's Lake area, less or lower amounts of rain, a few hundredths to 1500ths there, just over a tenth. But you get out of there right on the county border with Walsh County there, not far from places like Lankin, anywhere from 97/100ths to 1.5 inches of rain out that way. So there were some gully washers out there, folks, and it looks like we're going to have another round making its way in. So thank you for your question. That's a good point. A lot of people want to know how much rain fell, and that's what we're seeing in the rain gauges right now, with just a trace in northern parts of Cass County and up to around a tenth, it looks like, along that Highway 200 corridor, a tenth to 15/100ths of an inch of rain there. So we remain quite dry as the grass is starting to turn here in the FM area. Here's a look at today's rainfall, by the way. Let me go ahead and trade this out with today's, and it's very similar. I'm not even going to change it. Most of this rain has fallen since midnight. Can you believe that out there? Look at that, Mercer County, 3.22 inches. Wow, that looks like it's just south of Lake Sakakawea there, not too far from places like Beulah and Hazen or Hazen Bay. That is some crazy amount of rain there. Gully washers from those storms that tracked their way up into the Devil's Lake Basin. I hope that answers your question. Thank you for asking. Street in front of my house was flooded this morning, says Kathy. When will it be raining in West Fargo? Valerie, that's a wonderful question, and let's go ahead and pull up the hour-by-hour forecast. So give me one moment while I pull up that one more time in full scale size here, and that'll give you a better chance to take a look at what we have going on in the area. So we'll load this up, and I am basically going to have to tell the computer how many hours of forecast data that I want, and I'm going to go look. We'll look at the average model. That'll be kind of fun. We'll go from now all the way up until the end of the model period. And I'll say, go ahead and load. So here we go. Give me 1 minute while this loads up here. Okay, so what we're going to look at together here is a look at the forecast. And now let me switch this over to the model so you can see what I'm seeing. Number one, what we do have is our risk of showers and thunder showers in the morning checking their way through the region, and those will continue. Now, a couple of things of note here as we glide through time is this. Number one, let me get this out of the way here behind my head. Okay. And now we'll step in time through stuff so you can see. Here's our morning showers and rumbles of thunder. Those will continue to drift north, and our risk of severe thunderstorms this morning will wane, all but along the international border. If you're in Roseau County and northern Kitson County, maybe areas north of Langdon near the international border, you will have a chance for a couple of these cells as we go through. Now, look at the time frame on the model here. As we step through time, we have a redevelopment as we go into the evening hours. So there's 4 or 5 p.m., there's 10 a.m., storms exiting, and then in the afternoon they start firing up. This average model is saying everything is along the international border. That's really interesting. So this model here, which is more of a rapid update type model, is pushing everything north. Here's another model. We'll go ahead and load this puppy up as well. And let me go all the way out with this one too. This will take just a second, but you'll see by comparison that not all models agree on the track of this. And that is why we cannot put too much weight on any one given model unless we really do some weights and balances up against it. Now, this model is showing us this. It shows us that this morning's shower and thunderstorm activity rolls up into parts of southern Manitoba. As it continues its trek northward, it exits through the northern Red River Valley. About the midday hour here, we could have a few of these thunderstorms. Whoops, let me see. That's not the midday hour, that's midnight. Here's 5 p.m. So this Model 2 keeps them along Highway 2 and points north with the best risk or strongest risk. And Minot, you would be in the zone of strong thunderstorm activity here. But again, it's our northern counties that have the best chance along and north of Highway 2, maybe we'll say 200 on the outset. Once these storms wiggle their way across at about midnight and after, northwest Minnesota returns. Fargo's chance of strong to severe thunderstorms will be when this wave here that you see in the Northern Valley slides down. So the best chance will be pretty late for us tonight unless we get something going a little bit early. That's not to say we won't see something here, but that's what the models are showing. Thank you for your question, Valerie. Let's see if we have any more. Brandon says, what time is the storms coming to Moorhead? Just touched on that. Thank you for asking. Got 1.03 inches in Devil's Lake this morning. Lee, thank you very much for your report. 1.03. So that's significantly different than the measurements we saw there. Let's go to and take a look at, let me make sure I've covered all the questions. Marshall County is an anomaly. It is scary as heck out there when the sky goes black. Sarah, indeed. And Marshall County, Minnesota, that's a long, skinny one out there for you folks in the Alvarado area, all the way out towards Grigla. And that definitely does have some strong storms that work their way through there. So hopefully, though, many of us were drying out. There's going to be some heavy rain in the area. I know that that's not the best thing for some of the crops that are starting to dry out there, but it is making its way through the area right now. Let's go back to the radar. I think I've answered some of those questions with regards to the active forecast. And here we go with a look at the radar. Let me turn on the clock here so you can follow along with the timeline here. So as we go into the 9:30 hour, the warning has been allowed to expire. There was some 1-inch diameter hail with this cell as it worked its way through. I'll pause the thing from looping here because it's moving to the north and east. Well, maybe I'll pause it from looping. There we go. Stay. There we go. No, it's not staying. Okay, so sometimes it doesn't want to listen to Hutch. Okay, so we'll just let it go through. That was in Florian, was where the hail was. So 6 miles to the south-southeast of Florian. Now we're going to put up here is the radar estimates of rainfall, if it will follow along and cooperate. And let's go ahead and see if I can get to the storm total precipitation estimates here real quick. There we go. Okay, so here we are looking at the storm total amounts from the storm system, and it is looking like it's loading the loop up here. So you're going to see these values change. And what we're looking at here, I wish I could pause this. For some reason, the computer's not allowing me to pause the timeline here. So you go here. Let me go here and see. Try one more time. Stop. Okay, so what we're going to have to deal with is this thing looping. And what we're looking at right here is a look at the rainfall amounts. So when we look out near Garrison, remember that one value we saw not far from maybe Hazen Bay, Beulah Bay? Look at this. This is estimating 3 to 4 inches of rain. Some spots in between rain gauges there may have gotten as many as 5 inches of rain. That went right through Garrison. It went right up into areas just south of Benedict and off to the east of Max. Max, it looks like about 1.5 inches there. Up in the Minot area and Velva, we definitely had some issues there as well, but the cutoff was Minot. So north of Minot, we had a trace to nothing, and then it really ramps up as you go down towards Max. Velva, 0.4 of an inch. As you look out into the Towner County area, radar estimates here are about 0.7 of an inch of rain to an inch of rain. And then we just got the measurement in from you folks out there that said, hey, in Devil's Lake, I got some rain that was about 1 inch in quantity, 1.1 inches. Look at this. The radar estimates say Devil's Lake 1.5 inches of rain. So we looked at many different instruments, and it goes to show that when a thunderstorm cell moves over your rain gauge, you can get an inch in there. But when it moves across the street or maybe even in just a little bit of 5 miles away, we can get very little. So that's what was going on there. Brockett with some showers there. Let me see. It looks like, sounds like I may have gotten another picture uploaded. Hey, how about that? I'll go ahead and take a look at that and see if it's something that we can share with you right now, because Hutch's weather is in real time. Thank you for uploading your photos and your measurements. You can snap pictures of your rain gauge and upload them to hutchesweather.com here on this morning. So we'll continue to look this over here as let's see. I think I'll need to go back here, and here we go. and here. And let me go here. Sorry about this. I have to log back into the computer over here on to get to the picture set and see what. Oh yeah, we got a video here. So Tracy, thank you very, very much for the Lake Brunson area update here. Let's see what we got. Yep, that looks like a pretty heavy rain proposition. We're going to show this to everybody as the rain oh my, wind too, huh? Okay, so that's updated. You can follow along by going to hutchesweather.com and check out all of the photos that have been uploaded there. But let's go ahead and pull this up so everyone can see here. Let me see if I can get to that. Here we go. And my apologies while I get the screen to where I can see. There we go. Okay, so here's a look at the photo that video, I should say. This is a video that was uploaded just moments ago. And here it is. So as we take a look, this is the Lake Brunson area. Tracy, thank you so very much. Raining hard is what the caption says. As you can see, it blew over the flower pots. So there it is, and let's play it. And boom, some lightning and thunder with the storm as it made its way through Lake Brunson. And the wind definitely did topple some of them flower pots out there. And those are some mighty big and wet drops of rain. So thank you for your update. I appreciate that. And again, I appreciate each and every one of you who have taken the time to upload photos. So here's the bottom line. We have showers, we have thunderstorms. And once again, to wrap everything up and conclude properly, we'll remind you that this afternoon there'll be a risk of severe storms. Hail to 1 inch or so in diameter. I said plus because we could get a few reports a little bigger than that this afternoon. 60 to 65 mile per hour gusts from a few of these storms will be possible, and an isolated tornado cannot be ruled out in the yellow area. Roseau, International Falls, Lake of the Woods. If you're on Lakes Country today, make sure you're paying attention to what's going on with the forecast. Highway 200 corridor, as well as the I-94 corridor. Now notice Fargo is not in it. Moorhead is not in the yellow area. We're in the green area. That's a level 1, meaning storms could flirt with severe weather. But down here to the Southern Valley, we do have less energy in the atmosphere for the severe weather today. So Fergus Falls, Richland County, Morris Benson, and out towards places that are often hit in Ottertail County, not expecting it. There is a risk of severe storms today from Bismarck through Jamestown and points south towards Ashley, Wishick, and Napoleon. So keep that in mind as you're going through your business today. And now check out this, your forecast temperatures where we're down to the south and out of the storm's path. We're going to see temperatures in the mid and sticky 80s. It's going to be hot and it's going to be muggy. Southeast winds to 29 miles per hour. If you're in the area of showers, not only this morning are you going to have showers, but this afternoon they redevelop. So this is a snapshot of 5 o'clock in the afternoon you see here. And at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, because we'll have more development of storms mainly up to the north, it's going to limit your temperatures into the 70s. I do think places like Grand Forks, Mayville, will have a chance at popping up into the mid, maybe even upper 70s briefly in between these storm rounds that we have between the morning and the afternoon. Planning forecast for the rest of the week is right here, and that's what I'll leave you with as we close up this version. Hot and muggy to start the week through Tuesday, with more storms possible late Tuesday. And then it looks like a wet stretch of weather, not for everybody all the time, but we'll have a chance of showers and storms almost daily, folks. Wednesday night, Thursday night, it looks like Friday night and into Saturday, we'll have some shower and storm chances in the far south and east. Now, Saturday and Sunday to me look like southern Minnesota events, but it's a little too far out to get too specific there. And I'm even expecting a thunderstorm here in the lower right-hand corner, wherever that is. That could happen. So we'll take a look at your forecast in detail a little bit later, and I will keep you updated with regards to the radar today. But we do have some strong thunderstorms exiting north. I expect things to kind of redevelop as we head into the afternoon, particularly late afternoon and into the nighttime hours. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for your questions. I'll be back throughout the day. You're watching Hutch's Weather. Don't forget to use hutchesweather.com wherever you are and whenever you're there. You can get the latest in your forecast, check the storm, and you can also check the interactive radar. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson saying, stay tuned, stay safe, and check back again.